So we're playing Cinder Strike. We have a good idea of like the fact that we want to use dual wielding swords, but we don't really know what we want on our character. So we're using Last Epoch tools. We've got our skills built out, but we want to figure out ahead of time what we're going to put on the loot filter. Let's start figuring this out. I know there's one modifier. Let's put this on right now. Chance to gain a Death Shroud when you use a melee attack that hits. I think that's super valuable. And then like the other prefix, it could be crit chance while wielding a sword, or crit chance per equipped sword, because we're dual wielding. Increased damage while holding a sword. Or we said armor shred effect, right? Let's put this thing in for the time being with like prefix 1, prefix 2. And then for like suffixes, we probably just want like health and percent health, right? Honestly, whichever one we get like an exalted version of on like a usable chess piece, we'll probably just stick with that for the long term. I'm not going to worry too much about suffixes, because for the most part, suffixes are just like crit avoid, health, resistance, percent health, hybrid health, stuff like that. But for the helmets, let's see if we can figure this out. We already went through all the uniques to make sure that there's nothing particularly interesting there. Throwing stuff, bleed, bow, bleed on heavy shurikens, chance to find potions, no. Area with Cinder Strike's first strike. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to have good clear speed, we probably want this, right? So let's go, what was it? Increased damage while wielding a sword. And this is also going to remind me what to put on the loot filter, because like I know vitality exists, I know dexterity exists, but I don't necessarily know that this is here. I forget Ruby has percent increased fire damage on it too. It's pretty slick. Yeah, we'll toss one of those in there just to remind me. Maybe just dex? Yeah, all right, let's put dex in there. See what happens. The base doesn't concern me so much. What does concern me is like making sure that I'm looking for the right modifiers, right? I'm gonna slap the bone amulet in there. I feel like if I were playing a Sentinel or something, I could really easily get away with like not using a bone amulet, because Sentinel gets like so much generic resistance on their mastery. So for sure, we want crit multi. And then like, what's our second prefix? I don't think there's any juicy modifiers on amulet. The juicy modifiers show up on like relic, helmet, body armor, because those are like the characters, or like the starter class specific stuff. Fire penetration's not that good. Honestly, none of the penetrations are really that good as prefixes on your amulet, because like the numbers just aren't big enough. If the shred values on your empowered blessings were lower, or if other sources of penetration or other sources of pen were lowered, or sorry, not pen, but shred were lowered, maybe it would matter more, but it just like doesn't. Belts are like super boring. We have two prefixes. Is there elemental damage? There's elemental damage over time. Chance to find potions. How about dodge rating? Because like dodge is relevant for our character. Ideally, we'd use engraved gloves because they have the percent endurance, and it works out really well with like gearing up like the 60% endurance threshold up from 20. Man, gloves are so boring. There's like 10 things to choose from. All right, dexterity. Get in there. For the relic, we already looked through the uniques. There's no unique that's like particularly interesting for us. We probably want the ancient coins, right? Level of. There we go. Level of Cinder Strike is on relic. Gotcha. If we did level of Cinder Strike here, what does that give us? Because we already kind of know what we want. But like, do we actually gain anything per level? Gain bonus damage up here with Inferno, which is pretty good. We can get dodge per stack of oil coating. So it's a hybrid modifier too, right? It looks like there are things that we're willing to spec into. And as long as there's things that we're willing to spec into, like it also has, 41 to 60 fire damage on it. It's like we might as well just keep that in there. Level of this, level of that, lightning damage, mana regeneration, mini damage, physical damage, no. And then we probably want frailty somewhere. Frailty could go on the amulet, but so you can get frailty on amulet, gloves, relic, right? Ooh, frailty on melee hit. Wait, that's so much better. Done. All right, so we don't need that. Excellent. So we don't want frailty here because we'd rather have like a res and then health, right? And then for our weapon, we'd like to have chill, probably, because chill's great. Frailty on melee hit's pretty good. Blind on hit, maybe. Chance to shred armor on hit. Yo, it's really good too. Wait, all of these are really good. Health on melee hit. Interesting, interesting. It's really good for low levels. I guess we're dual wielding, huh? Shred armor on hit like that. And then we can go like chill over here. And what? I think for right now, I'm just going to click on the dodge rating, because that's going to remind me that it exists, and it's going to like make it better for loot filter purposes. So percent fire damage is fine because it applies, but flat damage is like, you only get flat damage in so many places. So I'd rather just get flat damage here because I can. I think this is what our character is going to look like, along with like a couple of resistances, right? Can we make a character real quick? Can we do this? What a genius name. So creative. I feel like my first couple of things, my loot filter always look the same. So let's go rarity, normal magic, delete them. I don't want to see any normal magic items. I'm going to add in a rule for item type, or sorry, for item rarity, for hiding that. And then I'm probably going to hide this around like level 6 or 7. But just to start out, I like seeing the stuff that's on the ground. Because we're a solo character, let's go class requirement and hide everything that doesn't apply to me. And because I also like seeing pretty things that are on the ground, I'm also just going to show rarity. I like seeing cool stuff. So like if there's an exalted item that drops for like an acolyte or something, I still want to look at it because I like looking at things. So I'm going to put this on top. So rules positioned higher in the list overrule things below this list. So like even though I'm like hiding all normal magic items, if there's a magic item that shows up, bad example. If there's a, if there's like a magic item that shows up that's like an exalted item, it's still going to show up because like this rule up top is above, right? So we can drag these things around. I'm going to recolor some stuff real quick. I like looking for movement speed as soon as possible. So I'm going to go like this and just like show some items that have movement speed on them. And then I know that the first couple things that kill me early on in the game are things that have, let's go affix, things that have like a whole bunch of fizz damage or like void, necrotic, stuff like that. Let's go res. Like elemental res, necrotic, void, all. I guess all would be a shield. Yeah, it's fine. And then physical. Like that stuff is going to kill me early on. So I might as well just show it, right? Something we didn't talk about while we were setting up the build planner was idols. Let's see. Affix. Let's scroll down to the idol slide. Is there anything in idols that we care about? Let's go rogue idols like this. Increased area with Cinder Strike's first attack. Yeah, beautiful. I kind of just want to like browse through here. Dodge rating of hit recently. Bleed chance, poison chance, health gain on dodge. Fine. Damage while wielding a sword looks pretty good. Crit multi while dual wielding. I like that. Armor shot effect, armor shot duration. I'm interested in those things as well. Let's put those in there as well. And I'm actually going to hide item type idols. So we're going to hide all idols. And then we're also going to come in here and just like show the ones that I specifically do want to see. So let's go show. Go show item type idols. Add condition affix. What? Like what are like the generic idols that we're interested in? Like life, res, health, maybe some kind of res. Maybe we're okay with this. Drag that there. And I'm going to go, I'm actually going to like maybe show emphasize. Let's go affix again. Because I really like idols that have like health on them. So that'll emphasize the ones, right? Item type. I'm just going to click idol. Now let's also go affix here. So this is going to emphasize anything that has like health. And then like fizz, fire, cold, lightning, necrotic, void, elemental. And then like 2. So it has like life and something else. It's like, oh, then it's going to really pop up and it'll like, alert me that it's there. I could even like do more emphasis for like, flat life, percent life, which is like perfect for every single build. But let's not go too overboard. So that's going to make idols that I care about show up as red, and then hide most idols. So that's idols done. We have like some generic gear down here. Something else that I like doing. Let's go like this. If something has 2 attributes that I'm interested in, let's go ahead and highlight that as well. Like let's go melee fire, melee cold, melee lightning, melee fizz, like any of these things, right? Early on, damage is damage, and I'm pretty happy with it. And I'm gonna leave off crit chance, crit multi for the time being. But like any kind of health, it's like health, percent health, hybrid health, great. Elemental, necrotic, void, all fizz. We'll hope that we get enough percent increased elemental resistance instead of having to like spec each individual one. But I think this for now is fine. And then you'll see in a moment what I'm about to do here. So crit avoid, I'm not going to prioritize this yet. Dodge, I'm not going to prioritize it. Movement speed, yes. Cooldown, I don't think so. Oh, where's like the life gain on hit stuff? Health recovery, health gain on melee hit. Yeah, let's add that thing in there before I forget about it. But let's go down to rogue. We had Dust Shroud. I guess I'm interested in Dust Shroud when hit. And then also like more specifically, Dust Shroud when you use a melee attack that hits. Because that is really good. Damage when wielding a sword. And then we also said, what was that other thing we were looking for? It was armor shred effect. Okay. I'm referencing my document that we just made over here, right? This Last Epoch Tools build planner. It's on the second monitor. I'm interested in anything that has two of these. So if it's got like vitality and movement speed, if it has, crit chance and you know what? Let's put frailty in here. Frailty is pretty good. It's like something that has like percent fire damage and frailty. Maybe something has like damage while wielding a sword and health. Anything that has two of these is going to show up. And this is like a pretty okay way of gearing up early on. By the time that I get to monoliths, I should turn this off because my gear should be good enough by that point. But let's just go drag this down here for right now. So anything that has like a generic resistance on it is going to show up right now. And then anything that has like two of, that broad range of things that I'm interested in is going to show up as well. So then we have idols here. We have more idols here, right? All items with 6 affixes. I think these are, let's go item type idols. I'm going to click that button so that the word idol shows up here as well. We could worry about like finding a specific weapon. We could put in like weapons and like level requirements, but I'm going to add a couple more things in here. And I like using these for like shatter this stuff. So I want to make sure that I have enough crit avoid. I don't want to click this because that's going to highlight the hidden thing that's in the background. Let me show you. It's going to highlight damage taken from crits. It's like, I don't care about that. The only thing I'm interested in is crit strike avoidance. So let's click that. I want to make sure that I have enough crit strike avoidance. And then I know that the hybrid health modifier is relatively rare. So let's make sure that I highlight this like specifically so that I can shatter it whenever it shows up. So I know that I never want to skip this. I always want to shatter it. Let's go like that. Shatter these things. I might just put this at the very top. And you know what? Let's go one more rule. Is there like a more vibrant color that I could use? I guess I could do this and like emphasize. I'm like very interested in like these two things. And I'm also very interested in like, what's it called? Wielding. While wielding a sword like that. Let's go. Shred effect, shred duration, and dust shroud, right? Melee attack that hits. That's a chest piece modifier. So like those couple things are like really important to me. And I definitely want those as much as possible. So we're just going to highlight those and put that at the very top of the list with like emphasize on it. So these blue things are like things that I want to pick up and shatter, right? It's like even if the item's not good per se, like I still want to pick it up. So every single blue item I'll pick up. These red items are going to be idols. I'll pick up all those idols. We'll probably just stash those so that I have like maybe like health and cold res or health or this or fizz damage and damage while wielding a sword, like those kind of things. And I can swap those in and out of my idols as I'm leveling up just to make sure that all my res is capped. So we have like our mopey stuff down here. Once I get to like level 6 or 7, we're gonna like turn on the hide all rare items. This is gonna help us like fill in like life, movement speed, res, things like that. And then at the very top end, we're hiding everything that doesn't apply to our character. I could go in and like make sure that we have like the right weapon, right? It's like we could do this for like weapon type, like we could show swords and hide everything else, and then like for each potential upgrade, we'll like show those and hide everything. You could really dig into this and have like a lot of potential, right? Let's see, is there anything else we want? Let's reference this information real quick. So we want crystal swords eventually. We could highlight those in the loot filter, but like this is an important enough upgrade for me that I'm just going to go gamble these as soon as I get to level 64. And like honestly, once I get to monoliths, I'm going to revisit this whole loot filter anyways. And just to make sure that it's still what I want. Increase fire damage, dexterity, health, hybrid health, dexterity, attack speed. And then we said there were 2 other prefixes here. One was damage while wielding a sword and crit chance for each sword, right? Let's go put the word per. Yep, there it is. Increased critical strike chance per equipped sword. I forgot to highlight this. And I think I do want to highlight this. I think it's pretty cool. So let's make sure that's in there. And then all items with 6 affixes. This is crit avoid, and hybrid health. And then for this, per equipped sword, Cinder Strike, bleed chance, poison, critical strike chance stuff. Crit armor on melee hit, shred effect, shred duration. While wielding a sword, we've already got that there. Dagger, bow, not needed. I think that's all the most important stuff, right? So that's like my blue color with the underline on it. I like it. If I weren't talking, when I've done this in the past, it's taken about 10 minutes. But like now that I'm like talking through it and everything, it takes a little bit longer than that. But There was somebody in chat a couple days ago who's asking like, how would I go about making a loot filter if I wanted to make my own? So I figure we might as well do this at least once and clip it and toss it up on YouTube, just so that people know like how you could go about doing this yourself if you didn't just want to use something that someone else did. Honestly, I think the biggest benefit for this is like learning about your build, getting yourself in the right mindset for like what it is you want for your build. So sure, like if you're just like gonna follow a build guide, then you already know all the stuff that you want. You already know exactly what you want in your sword, exactly what you want in boots, exactly what you want in your like chest piece. That information is already provided for you in build guide form. But on the other hand, if you're gonna go through a build and like make it yourself, like what we've been doing for the past hour or so, like I don't know what exists on the chest piece. Like I don't know, is Cinder Strike something that I get levels on the helmet or the body armor or the relic down here? Is there a unique that I need? Is there some spicy class specific helmet prefix modifier that I should know about and I can like build around? I think it's pretty fun. It helps me figure out my build ahead of time so I know like what to expect as I'm moving forward, but hopefully this is useful to somebody out there too.